I finished the first season of Hanny Montany last week. And to be honest with you, this really wasted so much time of my life, but maybe not. The truth is, I've always loved Hanny Montany, and even before I ever, have gone traveling to the US or other countries, I've always felt like I really would love to learn English so I can understand Hanny Montany series like perfectly without any problems. And that's happening right now. I'm so proud of myself that I don't know, I just felt like I want to share this with you. I know there are many people out there who also are non-native English speakers who learn English series. And I just want to say that if you pick a series that you really love, you will learn any language. Because I used Hanny Montany, not now but in the past, I used to watch it in English, German, Spanish, French. And of course, I didn't rewatch the whole series in these languages, so I just learned, I watched in English, then other, some episodes I watched in Spanish or in other languages. Just so you know, if you don't know who I am, I'm a polyglot. I speak 5 languages, and I've learned them basically mostly by myself and by traveling and watching series, but not Netflix series, but like old series like Hanny Montany, or in general Disney series. So yeah, how my English sounds. I think it sounds normal because I'm not trying to sound the way Hanny Montany sounds. I mean Miley Cyrus. I don't want to try to speak with a Harry accent, even though I can, because actually that's very funny. I spent 2 months in the south of the US. I spent 2 months in Arkansas. Don't ask me why. I really don't want to answer this question right now. I'm planning to record a video about it soon, but this is a completely different story, how I ended up there. So basically, I really think that watching series is so good because you can really dive into the environment and immerse yourself with the language that you're learning. In my case, it was English, and because I already, I had already watched all the episodes of Hanny Montany before, so rewatching them in English wasn't a really big deal because I understood everything. And even though there were some words that were new that I didn't understand, I still could understand them from the context. And to be honest, even right now when I'm recording this video, I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a badass. I really can record a video in English and feel so confident about it. Because before, I have a Polish channel as well. I felt like, yeah, I should start a Polish channel because I don't really feel like my English is good enough. I'm afraid my accent is too strong and people won't understand me. Well, here's the thing. No one cares about your accent. I can also put subtitles here in this video, and then, it will be even easier. It will be even easier for you to understand me. I really don't care. Right now, I'm in a place of my life after watching this whole, first season of Hanny Montany, which was very, very spiritual time for me. Because as you know, we're having Ramadan right now. I don't know if you're religious or not, but this is a time for everyone to take some time to look at your inside, who you really are, who you want to become. And I think it's also perfect time to shape your future, to decide who you want to be. And I think by watching Hanny Montany series, I really realized that I can become an English YouTuber as well. I can speak English in my videos because it's not only that I'm gonna attract a bigger audience, but I can really get better at English too. And I think that's the goal, because I'm also planning to start, channels in German, in Spanish, in French, in all languages that I know, because I want to practice the language. And of course share knowledge with you guys. Let's come back to the topic. Why I chose Hanny Montany and why exactly it helped me. If you surround yourself with the language, and you're watching something so fantastic, something that you love so much, like I love Hanny Montany series, you're gonna learn like that. And I swear, I can watch Hanny Montany in Chinese, and of course it will be very hard because I don't speak Chinese at all, but I will know more or less what they're talking about. And if I am gonna be persistent enough, and I'm gonna stop what they are speaking and write down, it's very hard to write down Chinese alphabet if you are a complete zero. I think it's still possible because I've done the same thing with other languages. I think you can really learn really fast when you're just persistent, when you care, when you take your time, and when you are really willing to repeat, rinse and repeat. This is what you do with other languages. You learn one language. Of course, you cannot learn the language fully, but you do it once with, let's say, Spanish, and you want to learn French now or Italian, whatever, more European languages, at the beginning. Later you can, how can I say, you can really go for something harder, something more advanced, like Chinese, but I think this is still very hard. And I know many Americans who actually can speak Chinese. Maybe you want to share stories, maybe you want to share your knowledge, how you did it, etc. with us. That would be very nice. And I think that when you learn one language, and you are on a level where you really feel comfortable, where you can where you can move to the country where this language is spoken, you feel good, you can get a job in this language, you can make friends, you can be in a relationship with someone who speaks only that language. I think this is really good, like very good. So then what you do, you just rinse and repeat. You take another language, you take the same steps, and then here you are, you do with another language. And then we ask ourselves, why polyglots are polyglots? Because they've done the same thing. They rinsed and repeat. Rich people who have, real estate, do the same with real estate. They buy real estate, they rent it out, they rinse and repeat. They do it with another properties. I think that's ingenious, right? But of course it takes time. No one says it doesn't take time. But if you are gonna waste time anyway on watching series, do it with one series and learn it and study it by heart. Because that's what people used to do in the past. If you think that, people in the past, like 200 years ago, how did they learn languages? Do you think they had language learning apps? No. And that's why they learn better than people nowadays. Because they just had books, a teacher, and lots of time. So basically what they probably did was, instead of studying series and watching them all the time, they were reading books in these languages. In the language. They were reading books all the time. And they had a teacher probably, if they had enough money, who was studying with them this language. They were reading books, she was translating them, they were talking about it, he was probably trying to make a sentence, she was correcting him, he asked more questions, the teacher was telling the correct answer, the right answers, and they were doing it, with the whole book, till they finished. It took a lot of time, of course it did, probably 1, 2, 3 years, but after that time, this person could really speak the language on a very high level. What you can do with the book, you can read it, you can write it, you can talk about it. And I'm sure this is what this guy did, what people used to do who are learning languages. They were just reading a book, then they were rewriting certain things, they were studying them, they were reading them, they were speaking about it, and they were also listening other people speak about it. And I think sometimes I really wish I could back with this time where what am I talking about? I wasn't alive back in time. I wasn't alive 200 years ago, so. But I just want to say that I think for those people who were living 200 years ago, it was much easier to learn languages than for us nowadays, because like they did have these all options like apps, series, language schools. I mean, I think there were language schools, but they were sort of better because people had different attention span. And I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting to see how it was, how it used to be, you know, a long time ago. And yeah, and now we are sort of we just have too many choices. And some of them are just very ineffective and they're just pure business. And basically it's very funny because this video was about me showing off my English after watching the first season of Hanny Montany. But now I end up talking about how to learn languages and how people used to learn languages. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, the goal was to show you my English skills and I did it. So yeah, don't judge me because I don't care anyways. And I hope this was an inspiration for someone. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you next video.